November 2024, the U.S. Department of Education released guidance titled Using Functional Behavioral Assessments to Create Supportive Learning Environments. In this video, we hear from some voices from the field about how FBAs impact their teaching practices. Functional Behavioral Assessment, or FBA, is used to understand the function and purpose of a child's specific interfering behavior and factors that contribute to the behavior's occurrence and non-occurrence for the purpose of developing effective, positive behavioral interventions, supports, and other strategies to mitigate or eliminate the interfering behavior. Why are FBAs a useful strategy?
I've noticed with the FBA process, it's been really helpful for me to understand the reasoning behind some of the behaviors, taking antecedent notes, figuring out the behavior that happened before the problem and what happened after the specific behavior. So it's been very helpful for me to understand the child a lot more and not just look at the behavior by itself, but look at the surrounding components that may have attributed to the behavior.
The FBA is also a plan that teaches students more socially appropriate skills that will meet their needs.
How have FBAs impacted your approach to teaching?
I am more proactive in my teaching practices by understanding and implementing replacement behaviors. Adapting my method for diverse learners have helped me to aid all of my students. Behavior strategies are not just practical for students with impeding behaviors, they create a more inclusive environment for all learners. It creates an environment of continuous improvement and healthy teacher-student relationships.
How can FBAs be a collaborative effort among educators and with families?
The benefits with being able to partner with the family in the midst of a challenging behavior is huge. I feel like I do believe that rapport is a huge part of fully understanding and connecting with a child, because a child is an extension of their home and their parents. So I want to make sure that parents in that family, whether it's parents or caregivers, understand that our goal is to always make sure that their child's base needs are met and that they're feeling understood. And once that rapport and that trust is met, not only with me as their teacher, but them as the parents supporting me in the classroom, that can go a long way. So being able to partner with the parents is a very essential part on being able to really understand and support that child. For that child to know mommy and daddy and my teacher and my school know me and want the best for me, and they will always want that consistency. Children thrive on consistency, on being able to feel understood and seen. So if everyone's on the same page, that will always help a lot.
Collaboration with teachers, family, and other service providers is essential. Their knowledge of a student's behaviors and preferences helps to identify why behaviors happen and potential motivators for a student. And since they are the staff who will be implementing the strategies in a student's behavior plan, it's important to have their input as to which strategies will be feasible to implement in a classroom setting. A successful behavior plan requires the buy-in of all support team members.
How have FBAs changed your mindset about student behavior, including prevention and response?
I can't remember exactly when I first heard the saying that all behavior is communication, but that statement has stuck with me through the years. I definitely believe that behavior is a form of communicating. When I think about how FBAs have changed my mindset over the years, I can say I now look at FBAs as the key to helping identify what a child is trying to communicate to me, especially when they don't have the words to express themselves or the skills. The more I use FBAs, the more I realize the importance of prevention, getting ahead of those behaviors. The FBA, more than anything, is a preventative tool. And that provides me, as a classroom teacher, the opportunity to understand what that child is trying to communicate to me, and then how can I address the function of their behavior in a more proactive or preventative way. And that leads us to more meaningful change.
We know that all behavior is a form of communication, and the FBAs help us to point out what may or may not be causing those behaviors and help us to identify what's going on. They also help us to develop a plan to work on decreasing those behaviors and increasing the behaviors we want to see. My old mindset was that kids were just acting out to act out. The more I got into it, the more I realized that using the FBA really helps to identify what's going on and shift that behavior into a positive way.
This video is brought to you by the National Center on Positive Behavioral Interventions and Supports and the National Center for Pyramid Model Innovations.